Hi guys, I cannot resist just sharing with you some of my recent sewing projects. I'm about to become a grandmother for the very first time. So my daughter is expecting a little boy, but I couldn't resist taking some of my sewing skills into my craft room and seeing what I could produce with this little new one due in the end of October. So my first thing that I done was look through my stash of fabric, and I have been hoarding this little Peter Rabbit, and I looked on YouTube. Everything here pretty much is what I have found from other people's channels, a variation, and I wanted to make a few little handmade bandanas. I couldn't resist using, as I said, this little fabric to make this little, it's going to be a newborn. So it's fabulous news that I've got this lovely grandson due. And with that, I managed to do my very first bandana. I made a couple, and then I was asked if I would make some burp cuffs, and I've made 3 of these. This was originally my dressing gown, which is lovely and soft, and an old grey towel that we had, because obviously it's been, all of this has been done during lockdown, and I needed to use and incorporate the fabrics that I had at home. I had a lot of patchwork squares, and I only had one 18-inch by 12-inch piece of Peter Rabbit fabric, so I really had to use the best of what I had to try and make all these lovely soft squares. It took a little bit of practice to try and get the corners right. I'm new to sewing. It's really been the last 4 or 5 months before I've made my very first garment, but all of this has been a lovely way of trial and error, of learning skills on the way. Then I decided, a few years back, I went to India, and whilst we were in India, they gave us a fabric in indigo dye bottle holder. So this is for your water bottles. Now this is my own representation of what was given to us, so I thought this would be really handy on a warm day if you just wanted to take out the bottle for the baby's milk, or if you wanted to actually take a bottle of water with you. It's got a very long strap that can go over your shoulder, and it's not too encompassing. And yet again, this would have been in its own day a tea bag. It would have been a covering for a teapot, because I do love keeping and purchasing vintage items. And as you can see, I've got all these ribbon straps, and I've just used again items for my stash. And then lastly, I just had to really work with small scraps of fabric. Unbeknown to you, this fabric has been sewn, and I've got a different piece of material in the centre, but I really worked to try and make it look as if it's still one piece of fabric. And I've got this burlap and this lovely red trim round. So all in all, these are just some of my sewing projects that I got up to over what I would class as lockdown or the COVID crisis, which is really I wanted to learn something. I wanted to challenge myself, and I think I have done that, but with these simple and easy projects, and also with the mind that they will be useful come later on in the year for my grandson that is due. Anyway guys, I'll catch up with you soon. Bye bye.